Arisa stared out the shattered window at the remains of civilization. All that remained were ruins of a once vibrant city, now left in ruins by the great Cataclysm. She turned to the small group of survivors huddled around her, comforting each other in the face of their terrible new reality. "We'll get through this," she said softly. One of the survivors, a young man named Jonathan, stepped forward and spoke for the group. "What do we do now?" he asked, his voice heavy with fear. Arisa sighed. "We need to find shelter," she said, her voice weary, "and food. We need to find food." The group nodded, their eyes wide with fear. Arisa took a deep breath, calming herself, then began assigning tasks. "Jonathan, you and Kate go look for shelter. Ruth and Adam can search for food, and I'll try to scavenge some tools and supplies." The group nodded in agreement, not daring to disagree with Arisa's plan. The group divided and set out in search of what they needed. Ruth and Adam soon discovered a large store full of canned goods, dried grains, and other foods that would help the group survive. They filled what bags and containers they could and quickly headed back to Arisa and the group's shelter. Meanwhile, Jonathan and Kate had succeeded in finding an abandoned building which had sustained only minor damage. While it wasn't ideal, it was safe and solid enough to provide shelter for the night. Once everyone was back together, the group quickly gathered around a small fire to warm up, share stories, and celebrate their discoveries. It was a small victory, yet allowed the group to take a moment to relax and forget the harsh reality outside their shelter. But the respite was only temporary. Come morning, the group was up and moving. They had managed to survive the night, but now they had to stay alive. They set off, scavenging the ruins to search for anything that could help them, and soon found a small cache of weapons and ammunition. Now, with a means to protect themselves, the group felt a bit more secure. "We'll have to be careful from now on," Arisa said. "We can't let our guard down for a second." The group nodded in agreement and continued their journey through the post-apocalyptic world. In time, their travels took them to more settled areas, and the group was able to find work, normalize their lives, and build relationships with their new community. Arisa, Jonathan, Kate, Ruth, and Adam had a long, hard journey through the post-apocalyptic world and faced a lot of adversity, but they stayed strong and managed to survive. They had faced many challenges and accomplished much, but the greatest reward was being able to create a new life together. They had gone from a group of strangers to a family.
Do you have a suggestion for a new story? Comment below and subscribe to not miss the next one.